Welcome back, everyone. Well, we're all sorry the summer is gone. But there's an event every fall for the last 7 years that defines the fall in terms of a fun event with money going to a really worthy cause. And you got to know already that I'm talking about super bands. This is the event that goes on at the Roaring Brook Ranch, right out. That's like in Lake Luzerne area.
Well, we're still Lake George, but it's
Still
on the
Lake
way to
George.
Luzerne.
It's on its way to Lake Luzerne on Route 9. And joining me today is somebody who's a frequent guest here on Look Media, Andrea Jacobs Merlo. Welcome back, Andrea.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's great to have you. This is your baby.
Yep.
This is your brainchild. It's 7 years running now, right?
Yes, yeah, with a lot of help from my friends, of course.
Yes, absolutely. But you're the driver. I know you. So, this event wouldn't even happen if it weren't for you. I got to ask you this. Over the last 7 years, every year more successful than the year prior. Artists are always interesting. We're going to get into the artists. You won't believe who's playing and the restaurants that are participating. What have you learned over the 7 years?
Mostly what I've learned is more about autism
Right.
and the realm of the spectrum. I've learned, as an educator, I've learned how to adapt to my students. I've learned the numerous programs that can be available and now are available as a result of the fundraiser for children and families that are dealing with the daily challenges of autism.
And
That's the main thing.
yes, of course. For the last 7 years, every year, that's been the recipient
Yes.
of the funds that you've raised.
When we first started the event 7 years ago, it was 1 in 200 children were affected with autism, and now it's 1 in 80.
Wow.
So that also has grown tremendously.
Now, it's also the money that you raise is earmarked or focused for our region.
Yes, absolutely. 80% of the funds goes to the Upstate New York Autism Alliance organization, and they're based out of Glens Falls, but they deal with families from Albany to Plattsburgh, north, south, east, and west. Over 350 families are beneficiaries. And then we also donate the other 20% equally to the autism task forces of Greenwich and Hadley Luzerne to help out some of the more isolated communities out there.
Right, and that a lot of times the isolated communities are the ones that need the most help.
Absolutely.
Is that true?
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to tell you about this event. Super Bands, S-O-U-P, Super Bands, because there's a number of restaurants there with their signature soups, and I got news for you, there's some killer soups, and we've got this year 12 artists.
Yes.
And you keep expanding the range, by the way, too.
I do. Everybody wants to play, and it's so hard to turn people away. It's wonderful because they're donating their time. They're giving up a paid gig on a Saturday night to come play for roughly 1,000 people that come through the door. And it's just wonderful. I wish there were more hours in the day that we could extend this party for a 12-hour event instead of a 6.5 hour.
6.5 hours, this thing is jam-packed. Let's talk about some of the artists.
Sure. We have 2 different stages, and so the one is the Powderhorn Bar, and that's the more intimate setting. It holds about 200 people, and in there we have Chatterbox, which is a fabulous male and female duo, Chuck
Yeah, sure
Kelsey,
is.
followed by James Hood, who has been with us a few years now. We move on to Tim Weckler Band here in Saratoga. Drew Dupre is a recording artist out of Nashville. He is family of the autism organization, and so he's coming up to help us out. We're excited to have him on board. And we have Chris Bellini, and closing out the night will be the South Street Saints.
Got you. I know Richie Ortiz is performing
In the
again
other,
as
yeah.
well. So on the other stage,
On
now,
the main
they
stage.
alternate the stages, which makes it great. Remember, we're trying to get 12 artists in 6 hours. Do the math. So, artists need to set up, they need to do sound checks, they need to break down. So they keep 2 stage going. You go from one room, you go into the other room, you go from that room back into the
There's
other room.
music everywhere all
That's
the time. Richie Ortiz will kick off the main stage at 6 p.m. He is followed by the Rodeo Barons, who you
I
know
love the
very
Rodeo
well.
Barons, yes.
Rattlesnake, so we're going to get a little bit country. The Radio Junkies, fabulous trio. And then we'll have Dirt Cheap, classic
Another
rock,
one.
and
That's right.
the Audio Stars will close out our evening.
Well, this is an all-star who's who in the
Yeah.
regional music scene, for sure.
Yeah.
The other side of it, of course, is the soup part. And some of the perennial favorites, I think Lizzie Keys is coming back again.
Yes, they are. They've been with
Warrensburg,
us forever.
Killer Soup,
Yeah.
and a couple of additions this year, right?
Well, last year's first place winner of the Caldwell House, so he's wondering what kind of soup he should make this year to win it again. But we have some new contenders from up yonder. We have O.P. Fredericks from Chestertown, along with the
Great.
Bull House, and then from Warrensburg is George Henry's.
Oh, great.
So we have
New
about
place.
30 restaurants coming to help support the cause.
So you've got the idea, right? All these restaurants are all set up there, soup. You've got 6.5 hours or 6 hours, 6.5 hours of the best music the North Country has to offer. It's rock and roll. It's fun. It gets hot in there. It's a blast. It's like $20 in advance, $25 at the door. That's really that's very reasonable. Let's leave it at that, okay? Now, how about the tickets?
The tickets are available in advance at Core Fitness or the Bullpen in Glens Falls.
Glens Falls, right.
We also have them available on Glen Lake at the Full Moon, and of course Roaring Brook as well.
Right.
Anybody from out of town can certainly call, and we can put them on will call if needed. We also have Rock Hill Bakery donating bread, which is amazing, and T. Ray's Barbecue will be there for anyone who needs some comfort food when the soup's gone and they're still dancing.
So what haven't you thought of? I want to know. What haven't you thought of? Where's the London Symphony Orchestra?
Right. Well, yeah.
You really have it covered.
Thank you.
It's a great event, Andrea.
I look to a lot of people for help. Our sponsors are amazing, and of course the autism organizations get some people on board to donate their time. Roaring Brook has been fabulous too for allowing me to do this event for 7 years. They also have discounted rooms available. If anyone needs a place to stay, they can just call the ranch.
Good. I know a couple of people that took advantage of that, by the way, because they were having
included.
a really good time and they decided they needed to stay. So let me give you the facts again on this. Saturday, October 24th, starts about 6 p.m. and goes 12:30. I think that's a safe bet, right?
Yeah.
Roaring Brook Ranch, which is right outside of Lake George. You hop off at that exit at Lake George, head on 9N, heading towards Lake Luzerne on the right-hand side.
Left-hand side.
Left-hand side, that's right. I was coming from the other direction. On the left-hand side. So if I haven't confused you enough, just remember Roaring Brook Ranch between Lake George and Lake Luzerne on Saturday, October 24th. Andrea, thank you very much for coming in.
I appreciate it, as always.
Organizing. Honestly, I think it's a signature event of the fall in the North Country. Talk to you soon.
Okay.
To see this interview again, you can head to our website, looktvonline.com.